Hello, welcome back to Send Them Off. Another week. Oh, I say it every week. Another week, another episode. Oh, I'm Sam, and joining me as always is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How you doing?
I'm glad you introduced me quickly because
Yeah,
he drags his intros on and I'm
not,
there
he's
and I
not
can't
allowed to
say
speak here.
anything.
No,
I
no,
can't say anything
it's
until
in
he
the
introduces me.
contract.
Yeah, it is. But no,
Not allowed to
good.
speak.
It's good to be here, and of course we're here for another What Football Means to Me. Sam,
We are,
take it away.
we are. But first of all, I'd like to point out that all our thoughts, prayers, and support behind David Brooks this week. Obviously the devastating news. Really, it was awful. Came out yesterday that he's been diagnosed with cancer. So we did tweet our support, but I'd like to put it out there again. But today we are joined by a very, very special guest. We're joined by football journalist and reporter and all-round football fan, Sioned Dafydd. How are you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you two? Thank you so
Yeah,
much
not
for having
bad.
me on.
Tremendously excited.
Yeah,
to
thank you
have
for coming
to have
on.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're just going to chat about your football memories. Anyone who's listened before to any What Football Means to Me, you know the score by now. We start off with something, something. What is it? Oh, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
Oh.
So first of all,
Oh God, I'm not getting married, am I?
no, don't worry. We're not setting you up. It's fine. That's next week's episode.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not for this week.
So we need something old. So your favorite retired player?
Oh, my favourite retired player. I'm gonna have to say Leon Britton.
Oh,
Though he still plays for Ammanford, so does that count as retired?
He doesn't now, does he?
He doesn't. No, actually, that's
as
true.
of this week.
No. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, just because I loved watching him as a player when I was a fan, and then got to work with him when I worked at the club, and he's
a top
great guy.
guy.
So,
we spoke to him the other day, didn't we, Al?
We had an interview with him, yeah, and we still have to post that actually. But yeah,
we do. We need to post that.
Lovely enough to give us time to give us a little interview. He was brilliant, to be fair. Really small as well, a lot smaller than I thought on the pitch as well.
I'm sure you really appreciate that, Al.
He's not listening. He's not listening.
Probably not. Something new. Favorite current player?
Current player. I've got to say Pedri, Barcelona.
Ooh.
Love the guy.
Ooh.
Loved watching him over the summer. And yeah, genuinely, he's on the Ballon d'Or long list, which is incredible. The kid's 19. So I think I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, he's 19 and on a Ballon d'Or shortlist, and me and Alex are 22 and
we're
setting a football podcast.
Naffle podcast.
Levels to this game, Al. There's levels to it.
Thank you for running.
Something borrowed. Favorite ever loaned player?
Oh, favorite ever loaned player? Oh God, that's a really interesting question. As in, like the Swans have had on loan, or just a player that's gone on loan in general?
Interpret it as you wish.
Freestyle the question, whatever you like.
Favorite ever loaned player? I guess Gylfi Sigurdsson came to the Swans on loan at one point, and he was pretty much our best player for years and years and years. So I think I'll say him. But that's probably not a very good answer.
You caught her out, Sam.
Yeah.
Caught her out.
Oh, early on as well. Early on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
dear.
listened to the Johnny Owen one, so I thought I'd do some homework.
Yeah,
before,
no, fair enough.
But you've
We
changed
did
them.
change-
We've changed it. Yeah,
You've
we did.
changed them.
Little bit sneaky. But well done for doing your homework. Yeah. Hats off. Favorite guest so far, just for that. Something blue. Saddest moment as a football fan.
Saddest moment as a football fan. Do you know what? Probably the Swans getting relegated.
Yeah, we've had that one a lot.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I think, so our last season in the Premier League was my first full season working for the club. So I could really see, obviously, as a fan, knew how much it meant to us. But when you got to know the people that worked there, and, it was all of a sudden, it wasn't just, we're not in the Premier League anymore. It was, oh my gosh, am I going to have a job next season? So it was sort of seeing the other side to it. And I remember our final game, was it Stoke?
Stoke,
the last game?
Oh,
Yeah, we had that. That was a horrible game. And I remember after, I went and sat in the stands. I just went and sat on my own for a couple of minutes. The stadium was completely empty. All the fans had gone. You just had the groundsmen sorting the grass out, and you could just see staff members just sort of in a world of their own. Like it was a really, yeah. So probably I'll have to go with that one because it was a really, just because of the uncertainty and nobody knew what was going to happen over the next few months, really.
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it? It was
I know
awful.
it was a horrible question to ask. It was a horrible answer, but it was a brilliant answer as well.
Good answer.
That was a
very good answer.
Well done.
Yeah. Should we jump right in now?
Yeah. Hang on.
I know I go first because it's written in big capital letters. Sam first.
Right, because you got your favourite, of course.
I got my favourite question, which I got to ask every time. We know the score. First question: earliest football memory, please.
Okay, so it's quite a vague one, but I have vivid memories of the vetch and my dad taking me. I think I would have been around 7 years old, and I think I'm 99% sure that my first game was Grimsby Town at home. And I don't know what it was about the vetch, but I think everyone loves it. It was just this sort of rugged stadium by the sea, and I've just got sort of vague, because I was really young, so I don't really, and we moved to the Liberty then when I was about 9 or 10, I think. So my memories of the vetch are very, very vague, but I remember walking through the turnstiles and then being really, really small. I remember being in the stands. Kenny Jackett was the manager at the time, and I remember the Kenny Jackett songs.
Can we have a bit of the Kenny Jackett song now? Should we be?
Well, do you know what? This is, I don't know if I've ever actually said this story out loud, but you know the song, "There's Barmy on me," and you know, like you sing it, whoever the manager is. Because Kenny Jackett was my first manager, if you like, when I started going to watch the Swans, I thought that song was just for him.
It was.
And so when, you know, Swansea being Swansea, we went through a lot of managers, and I can't remember who the manager would have been after Kenny Jackett left. But I remember being like, God, they must have really liked him because they're still singing about Kenny Jackett. Because I thought, but I was really small, and I remember turning to my dad being like, "Oh, they're still singing the Kenny Jackett song." And he was like, "Oh no, Sean, no. That's not how it works." So yeah, it's probably hasn't really answered your question, but just vague football memory. Definitely, my dad taking me to the vetch and me being really small and wrapped up, really warm.
Singing about Kenny Jackett.
And singing about Kenny Jackett, even after he'd gone.
Who else are you going to sing about today? I reckon this, in the derby this Sunday, I reckon we just whip out the Kenny Jackett's Barmy Army.
Start singing about Kenny Jackett.
Just for the hell of it. If anyone's watching now in your knees stand, whip it out on Sunday. Kenny Jackett's Barmy Army. Alex.
Next question. Biggest high as a football fan?
Biggest high? Oh, do you know what? And it's probably not going to be an obvious one. When the Swans drew with Chelsea to get through to the League Cup final.
I was there for that game. That was the game Eden Hazard kicked
the ball by. Yeah. Do you know, because obviously you've got the promotion, you've got obviously the League Cup final at Wembley, but there was something about, and this is no disrespect to Bradford, I sort of feel like we won that cup against Chelsea in a way.
Yeah.
And you had that amazing night at Stamford Bridge, but there was something about that 0-0 draw at home against Chelsea, and they put out like their best 11 because they knew, they were like, right, you've got to, it's sort of all guns blazing here, we need to get to that final. And I listened to Michael Laudrup was on a podcast with Graham Hunter the other week, Graham Hunter, the football journalist, and he was talking about that game. And Graham Hunter asked Michael Laudrup, out of your entire career, everything you've ever won, what means the most to you? And to my complete surprise, he said probably the League Cup with Swansea. This is Michael Laudrup, who's literally won like
for
Champions
Barcelona.
League,
Sorry,
everything.
Can we scrap that? Sunday, can we get Michael Laudrup's Barmy Army going as well? For the.
And he went on and talked, and he said a similar thing, that 0-0 at the Liberty against Chelsea was one of his highlights as a manager. So I'm gonna, obviously you've got the playoffs and you've got everything, but I have to say there was something about being in the crowd at the Liberty that night.
I was there. I remember it was quite a cold night, wasn't it?
It was freezing, but it was electric.
Time.
It was the end of January, wasn't it?
Yeah, end of January time.
And there was.
Go on, sorry.
And that entire season just felt so magical. So I'm probably going to go with that one.
That's a good
Good
one.
answer, to be
That's
fair.
one we
It's a
weren't
little-
expecting.
It's a little alternative answer, which
Yeah,
I'm here for
'cause
them.
usually
I'm
we
here
get,
for
you
them.
know,
I mean,
your
I don't want to be
classics.
obvious and say the playoff final because everyone could say that, even though that absolutely 100% was a high.
One of mine is Brentford losing the playoff final to Fulham. That was outstanding. that was I celebrated like we went up that night. What a night.
He doesn't like Brentford.
Oh, I don't like Brentford. It's well documented on you. Al, do you want your next one? Do you want to do the next one, number 4? Because we've done number 3 more or less.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, it's my turn, is it?
Well, I want to do my special question,
yeah, of course,
please.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I totally forgot. What's on your football bucket list?
Do you know what? It was to go and watch Messi at Barcelona, but obviously that's
You're
not.
gonna have to go to France to watch him instead.
Yeah, that's not a thing
It's a
anymore.
shorter journey, to be fair.
My football bucket list. Do you know what? I love Spanish football, and I think the Swans played a big part in that because we had that massive Spanish influence when you had Roberto Martinez, and at one point half of our squad was Spanish. I've always wanted to do like a road trip around Spain and just go and watch loads of La Liga matches and lower league matches, and go to. I've been to the Bernabeu and the Wanda and all, you know, the big stadiums. I'd love to go to Oviedo, watch Real Oviedo play. I'd love to go and do Real Sociedad and San Sebastian. So yeah, that's my bucket list. Do a little road trip around Spain. So if anyone wants to join me, you guys want to come?
Sod it. Why don't we commission a TV program?
We can't actually speak Welsh.
We can't speak Welsh, but we'll do the English side of it.
I learned a bit of Spanish.
Hey, no, you two can speak Spanish.
That's fine.
Hola. It's my question now.
The big one.
Drum roll, please. It's a 2-part question. Who or what is your football guilty pleasure? Phone's ringing. Who or what is your football guilty pleasure? And the second part, if you had to put anything in football room 101 and banish it forever, what would you put in football room 101?
I think, to be honest with you, I think that's Kenny Jacket ringing, asking us why we're going to sing about Michael Laudrup on Sunday. Sorry.
My football guilty pleasure. Oh, guys, you know, I'm so sorry. And this isn't going to be a popular one. I really like Brentford.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh, I was going so well.
I know.
No, right. I'll put it this way, right? They're a very, very well-run club. They play good football. I just don't like them. You know, people have got teams they just don't like. They just irk me. I don't know what it is.
No, I know the feeling. Didn't obviously like them in the Championship and everything that happened with the playoffs, but I have to say, watching them in the Prem this season, I have enjoyed their games.
The Leeds effect.
And I've got to give it to them. They've been very entertaining to watch. So I think I'll class Brentford as my guilty pleasure because as a Swans fan, I feel like I shouldn't like them, but there's a part of me this season, I've got to give it to them. I think they're doing really, really well.
I've got to
be
really
guilty pleasure.
I've got to be fair though. As far as Brentford are concerned, I feel like for me, I got more of a stick with Stoke than I have got with Brentford.
Oh God, I hate playing against Stoke. I hate playing against Stoke.
Oh my goodness! Every time, Lucas is guaranteed to score.
Obviously, and Joe Allen probably chip in with one as well.
There we are, exactly.
Room 101.
So, something that I would banish from football.
Forever, from football.
On the pitch or just with the game?
Either, generally.
I would say gambling companies sponsoring clubs and having gambling companies on shirts and everything. Because I love the fact that the Swans have Swansea University as their shirt sponsor and that they decided to stop using gambling companies because I think it's the sort of situation, do you know, like now we look back at people smoking indoors or like they used to be able to smoke on aeroplanes and now we're like, what? How was that even a thing? I'm convinced in 15 years time we'll look back and be like, what, gambling companies used to sponsor football clubs and used to, you know, that's what I hope the situation will be. So if I get rid of one thing.
it's already a little bit like that with alcohol, though, isn't it? Because Liverpool, I can remember them when they had Carlsberg, Newcastle had the Newty Brown on there, didn't they, and everything.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen anymore over here anyway. But yeah, I agree. I love it that like all the little kids can wear the tops that like the players wear as well.
I was going to say exactly the same thing because
I was quite a small child.
Yeah.
So I could never have I never bought a Swansea kit because I was like, it's all dead. I can't, Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to look the same as them. It's a blank one. Might as well wear a white t-shirt with Swans.
But it was always like the nicer kits as well. Like, the yellow one we had a couple of seasons ago. I try not to buy, like, I didn't like to buy them with the, betting companies and things, but I was a bit I do like that kit and I bought it. And as soon as they stopped making, like, the ones with the betting companies, they started getting a bit nicer as well. So I can completely understand, why they did it. But yeah.
Do you know my recent one is going in room 101 for me? When Matt Grimes is 40 yards out and on his right foot and the stand goes, shoot. It is my pet hate. I can't stand it. Yes, that's a new one for me. Go on, Al. Move us on.
Right. What does the game mean to you?
What does the game mean to me?
That's the most open-ended question we've got.
It is.
No, but it's that's why we're here. That's why the three of us are here on Zoom talking. It means I could say everything, but that's very dramatic and very. But it does. It's my main hobby is football. I literally read about it. I watch it. I listen to it. It's also how, and I'm incredibly lucky, but it's how I make a living. I literally pinch myself every day that I get paid to watch and talk about football, and I get to meet amazing people from all corners of the game. I think one of my favorite things about the job is one week I can be sat with Gareth Bale or Rob Page, and then like tomorrow I'm going to Colwyn Bay to do a game, and it's
and then Thursday you're on sending him off for me and him.
Yeah, no, but
what a week you've had.
Down to earth.
God, I was in Estonia just a couple of nights ago. So it's so I just love everything that I love, all the people involved, and I love being able to meet people from one extreme to the other, from elite players to grassroots people, and and the amazing work that they do. And I think it does mean everything. And then you just on a personal level, my family, I come from a long line of Swansea City fans, so it's when we're all around the table, we always talk about the Swans, or we always talk about Wales. I met my partner through work, and he works in football as well, so it's literally in every single nook and cranny of my life. But no, I can't get away with it. It makes it really hard to switch off, because if I've got a day off, I'm like, Super Sunday, great.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
put that on or whatever. But no, it's just sort of weaved its way into every single aspect of my life, which I love. I can't complain.
You mentioned you met a few people. I'd like to know, firstly, who's your favorite person you've chatted to, and who's the person that's left you more starstruck?
That's a good. Well, he freestyled with that one. Well done.
I did. Well, what can I say?
Do you know what? The person that's left me most starstruck was Michu.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well
done. I'll vouch for that. He viewed our Instagram story the other day. He didn't follow us, didn't interact with us, and we had a meltdown. We were like, what?
We were on Snapchat. Oh, did you see?
Yeah.
Please put this on there, because a lot of people who know me know that I was obsessed with Michu. Like, I was a proper fangirl, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like, I was really like, I had it bad for him. And he joined when I was around 15, 16, I think he signed for the Swans. And that season under Laudrup was the season that made me decide, right, this is what I want to do for a living. This is what I want to do as a job. Because I remember I'd watch all the interviews that they would do with Michu and be like, oh God, that would be so cool if I could do that. And if I could interview like my favorite players. So that season and that squad under Laudrup had a massive effect on me, and it really, obviously I was a fan before, but I never really considered it as a career. And then that season had a massive influence on me, but I never got to meet him as a player when he played for the Swans. But he came back again in our final season in the Prem. He came back when we played Chelsea at home. I'm not sure why it was that game, and he did when he walked out onto the pitch, and
I remember that.
He did he did like a farewell, because he didn't really get a proper farewell. I don't think, because he signed for Napoli, and then it all sort of got a bit weird.
Off for him,
and the club wanted me to interview him pitchside, and I saw him in the tunnel. I was genuinely like, oh my god. And usually, I to be fair, I'm not one that gets starstruck a lot. Like, I'm pretty much, because I know footballers are only human, and most of them hate doing interviews. So the last thing they need is me being like a lunatic, like, oh my god. But yeah, there was something about when I interviewed Michu. I was so nervous, but yeah, so definitely.
Alex was like our lead trundle.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a big day for me. Yours for me again, I was.
Who's your favourite person you've chatted to?
Oh, that's such a tough question, because honestly...
Before you answer it, don't worry, none of them are listening.
So absolutely none of them are listening. No.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Do you know what? I always love doing Welsh language interviews with like really big players. So I always love interviewing Joe Allen and Ben Davies, because they are big names, and being able to do it in Welsh always feels really special. And I guess Welsh language speakers always, it's mad that you can be sitting with Ben Davies, who plays for Spurs, and you're speaking Welsh to him. Interviews like that always really mean the world to me. You've got Tash Harding and Nghara James, who also speak Welsh. So I think, I won't say like one name, but in general, I always really just adore doing Welsh language interviews with really sort of big time people, because it feels like watching Aaron Ramsey doing more and more stuff in Welsh, like, to me, is just incredible. So yeah, just a broad answer, but yeah,
good answer.
Anything in Welsh
included everyone.
I'm feeling really nosy now, so I'd kind of like to know who's the most famous name in your phone contacts.
Sam.
It's a good question, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, that is actually.
I'm intrigued. I might start asking more people that.
Give me 2 minutes. It depends. Like, define famous.
Define famous.
Yeah.
Right.
I have. Who do I have?
I'm waiting for a name drop now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a massive boom.
Or is it going to be really underwhelming?
Yeah, it'd just be like, who?
I'm going to go with... oh, God. I think they're all sort of on the same level, I would say. But I'd probably go with Chris Coleman.
Oh, that's a big name drop, that is.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's a big old name drop.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Chris Coleman. Yeah.
When was the last time we ran Cookie?
It's been a while. Don't worry, it's been a while.
Fair enough.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough.
I'm glad I asked that, to be fair.
Yeah, Chris Coleman. Well.
I don't even know where we are on these questions now.
I think it's your question, Sam.
Can we go 8?
I think it was 8, yeah.
That's who you was.
It's in my... Oh, dear me. Who will win the Premier League?
That's 9, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, go on then. Answer that one first. I think we got different questions.
It's 8 I do apologise. It's 8 and 9 on my thing. I don't know why.
Who will win the Premier League? I am going to go with Chelsea. I'm going to go with Chelsea.
I think that's a good answer.
Mainly because I think they have, probably the best squad this season.
It's a superb team, and I think for me it's between them and City.
Yeah,
I can't see United. I think Liverpool could creep in. I do. I fancy Liverpool.
Newcastle may as well creep in next year as well, to be honest with you. But we'll see.
I think it'll be between Chelsea and City, but for me, I just feel like Man City are running out of steam.
Yeah.
You've got that sort of, is Pep tired?
One question I need to ask. Where do you think Pep will go after Man City?
Oh, I love Pep. Because I thought you were going to ask me who my favourite manager was.
Who's your favourite manager, Sioned Dafydd? Who's your favourite manager?
Favourite Swans manager ever, Brendan Rodgers. But favourite football manager in general has to be Pep Guardiola. And I think I've literally read every single book on Pep Guardiola.
Have you seen Take the Ball Past the Ball?
Take the Ball Past the Ball, yes.
I love this brilliant documentary. Anybody who hasn't watched it, go and watch it.
Take the Ball Past the Ball. Anyway, what was the question?
I can't remember now.
Was it?
You said where did Pep go next?
Oh, yeah, where's Pep
go next?
I was going to ask who was going to win the Prem again, sorry.
So, I guess the one thing that's missing is national team. However, he doesn't strike me as when you're the manager of a country, you're not with the players all the time, aren't you? So I'm not sure if that would suit him, because I can imagine he's the type of manager that would constantly need to be sort of stimulated, he'd always need to be with his players. But it wouldn't surprise me if he went to manage a national team, but was heavily involved with sort of the academies and the age grades and everything.
I was going to say the same thing. I said either his next move, PSG or Spain. One of those two.
I'd be really disappointed if he went to PSG, because I think that would just be...
I think he just wants to give Messi a cuddle just one more time.
Oh, he just wants a touch. No, I think it'll be with a country that he's welcome to come to Wales. Pep.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine Pep Guardiola managing Joe Morel? Oh, it'd be outstanding, wouldn't it? He'd be like Iniesta within 18 months. Last question. I know we had your football high, but what is overall your favourite football memory?
Oh gosh, overall my favourite football memory. Oh God. Again, I guess it must be, and it might be a bit predictable, but the Swans being promoted, because I guess how old was I? I was doing my GCSEs. I was about 15, and mainly because I had no idea. The Swans being in the Premier League basically made me realise what I wanted to do as a job. And so, again, it's a bit vague, but I guess being promoted, actually, not being promoted, that first season in the Premier League, because I don't know if you guys were the same, but there was something about like coming home from watching a game on Saturday and being so excited to watch Match of the Day. Like, oh my God, I literally...
Swansea were on Match of the Day. Yeah. What was happening?
Honestly, and I just remember, I just thought it was the best thing ever. Like, it genuinely felt like the best thing ever. So, again, sort of in general terms, but Swansea being in the top flight. And I remember, like, when you'd have, like, Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea come to the Liberty and just having... I remember, because that was our first season in the Prem was when Man City signed Aguero, and they signed him for what, like 38 grand or something? Yeah. Which obviously at the time was a lot, but now that's nothing. And I remember them coming to the Liberty, and I just remember like watching him and being like, oh my God, he cost £38,000. And just, the whole experience of having big teams, big players come to little old Swansea, staying in the Marriott, down the Marina, is like, it's just, the whole thing was absolutely great. And I'm hoping one day we'll be back up there competing, because it wasn't just the fact that we went up, it's the fact that we went up and stayed there for so long. Yeah. And did that season under Monk where we finished 8th. It's like, what?
Cardiff could never, could they?
No, it's like, did that even happen? So
Fingers crossed.
So I guess it's not very specific, but in general, just the Swans being in the Premier League I was just loving life.
Hopefully soon. All aboard the Russ bus.
Fingers crossed, Russ will take us there.
All aboard the Russ bus.
That's the first time I've heard that. I love that.
I didn't come up with that. I'm sure I saw that on Twitter. Don't credit that to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think that wraps us up.
You know what? That flew by. My God.
Time flies when having fun, doesn't it? Time flies. Thank you so much for joining us, Sioned. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved the little chat with the memories. It's been great.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Problem at all.
No worries. It's been a fun one. You guys can find us on Instagram at Send Him Off Podcast, Twitter at Send Him Off Pod, Spotify, YouTube, Send Him Off Podcast. If you go to www.sendhimoffpodcast.com, you will find
merch.
Alex's debut blog as well.
Oh, yeah.
Debut blog,
forget about that.
Which is a great one. And if you too want to own a fantastically modelled Send Him Off hoodie and mug, then visit the website, click the link, buy us some merch, buy me a couple of pints from the proceeds. But yeah, thanks guys. We'll speak to you next week, and have a good week. Enjoy the return of league football. Enjoy the derby if you go in. Fingers crossed for a Swansea win. We'll see you next week. Ta-ra.